Someone on the internet called my hair an unattractive mop and I can't seem to get over it. Curly hair circles. I've been called a frizzy haired bitch. My own mother has commented that my hair is witchy. Oh, so you decided to put your finger in a light socket again, huh? It must be Jungle Tuesday again. You're leaving the house with your hair like that? You're not going to be able to get a job with your hair like that. I think you should straighten your hair out more often. It's pretty. You need to do something with that. How do you live with dry, hideous hair like that? Do something with that ugly pile of mess on your head. You have a beautiful face. Why would you wear your hair like that? Only dirty people have curly hair. I was called a demented poodle. Your hair isn't curly, it just looks like a rat's nest. An old friend said my hair was like pubes on my head. Hey, it's Rosie, and I have a question for you. Has anybody ever said something very mean or not nice about your curly hair or your overall appearance? That is what today's video is about. Today, we're going to go over the shitty things that people say about curly hair and how to deal. I want to share with you the worst thing that anybody has ever said about my hair, which was that my hair was at one point in time labeled as janky. I included a link in the video details for Urban Dictionary. That's where you can find a definition because it is slang term. But if you're familiar with the term nappy, that's how I felt like what my hair was being called. And at one point in time, my hair was also called nappy. And all of these name callings were at a time when I didn't know how to care for my hair. I didn't have any resources for what it's like to live and care for curly hair. Nobody in my family has my hair texture. So that was a little bit of a difficult learning curve for me. To make matters worse, my mom would constantly ask me why I didn't want to get my hair permanently straightened because she felt like it would look much more beautiful compared to my curly hair texture, which she believed made me look a lot older. In reality, living in a non curl loving culture is truly what took so long for me to embrace my natural hair texture. It's never easy to handle rude comments that people make about our appearances, about our beliefs or our opinions, and even our feelings. We are constantly being judged by someone else. And to on top of that, we're constantly our own worst critic. I personally have seen how bullying affects others in middle school and high school. And, from those experiences, I have vowed to stand up for others as best as I can in times of need. The first thing that you can do when you hear somebody make a rude comment about you is to one, give them the benefit of a doubt. And the reason why I say that is because, well, is this the first time the person made that comment? Because if it is, you'll definitely want to give them the benefit of a doubt. Maybe they didn't mean for the comment to be offensive, even though that's how it came off. However, if the person repeatedly makes comments like these, then you're definitely going to want to continue watching the video so we can talk about how to deal with those types of people. And even if this was the first time the person made the comment, if you feel empowered enough to help someone correct their actions before it becomes a learned habit or a learned behavior, then the second thing that you're going to want to do for repeat offenders and for first time offenders is to ask them to repeat their comment. Was the comment meant to be offensive? You're never going to know until you ask. You can ask, what do you mean by that? And that's often a really good way to pop the question. And it makes them stop and think, like, well, how am I going to explain what I meant by that? It's a little embarrassing, which is the point. Third thing that you're going to want to do is to provide insightful feedback. So let's say, for example, the person said, I think your hair looks better when it's straight. You can respond with, how would you like it if I told you that your natural appearance doesn't look good on you? Shifting the conversation and the statement towards them may be really helpful because sometimes people need direct feedback in order to understand your point. Fourth thing that you can do is to give them a nonverbal no, or tell them that what they did or said was not okay. Whenever I feel as if someone has overstepped their boundaries, right away I'll tell them that was not cool. And the reason why I use that very casual language is because sometimes people get into the sometimes people get into this understanding that you're friends all of a sudden, and because you're friends, like, you can joke around as much as you want, but then they don't realize what they can and cannot joke about. So at this point, if the person feels as if they can be really casual around you, maybe they just don't have an understanding of uh, what you find offensive and what you don't find offensive. So saying that's not cool is helping relay the fact that, okay, so we decided to take our relationship to this level of casualness, and if you want to be there, then let's talk about why I didn't like what you had to say. And in doing so, this will immediately let the speaker know that he or she crossed the line. Will it make things uncomfortable and awkward? Yes, and that is exactly the point. Sometimes that's the type of impact that your bully or your speaker needs in order to understand that the words coming out of their mouth is simply not okay. The fifth thing that you can do is ignore them. And I know I'm having a really hard time keeping my face straight when I say this, but if there's someone you know who is repeatedly always trying to bring you down, the one thing that you can do is ignore them. And research shows that ignoring a person is the equivalent or one of the greatest mental tortures a human being can experience. And I know it's a little off putting that I am smiling right now while I'm saying that, because I in no way get a kick out of voluntarily torturing other people. But at the end of the day, someone who has bad intentions is never worth my time or my energy. The sixth thing that you can do is to join a support group. Yes, I am here to tell you that there is a support group for you for whatever needs you have. Your support group is one of my favorite places to be online nowadays. Like, I'm not kidding with you. It's probably the reason why I've logged on to Facebook more often than I probably should be. And the reason why I like being on there is because it's become this really great source of information for me. I get all these different types of tips and tricks and advice and even encouragement from my fellow members who understand what it's like living with this texture. And more often than not, a lot of the members are new to their curly hair journey, just like I am, and I can share my frustrations with them, but I can also share my successes, and we all celebrate together. Like, everybody's so positive in the group. No one is ever, bagging down on each other. We always have each other's backs, and I absolutely love it. And that's why I am encouraging that you join a support group, because when you're in a situation in which you're living in a non-curl loving culture where maybe it's, at home with your family, or at work with your coworkers, or maybe it's at your gym, like with your friends or something like that, this particular Facebook group, or whatever, wherever you find a support group online, it's going to be your safe space where you can feel okay to literally let your hair down and enjoy people who are into embracing their natural textures. The seventh thing that you can do is to follow a blogger or influencer who advocates for curly hair. This goes back to my previous point about how pretty much the internet has been a great tool or a beautiful source of connecting people with other like minded individuals. I've noticed that a lot of people truly love to document their curly hair journey, just like me. And especially, I mostly find people who document their progress on social media, specifically Instagram or Pinterest and Facebook. That's where I find these people. Connecting with someone who focuses on a niche topic such as curly hair might be a great avenue for you if you want to connect with someone on a one-on-one basis instead of like a larger group like the Facebook group that I had mentioned. To wrap up this video, I want to end by reminding you that no, you do not have to emulate the look of another person or another race to be beautiful. You are uniquely beautiful the way that you were born and the way that you are. And if someone doesn't like your natural beauty, that's their problem and not yours. Now, I want to know, what's the shittiest thing that anyone has ever said about you, whether it's about your personal appearance or an opinion you had or a feeling that you have or even like a belief that you have, and how did you deal with it? Comment below and share your experiences. Thanks for watching.